Hey everyone, it's Ashley and I'm back with a short video. So I wanted to show you in this video the answer to a question that one of our group members had. Thank you so much, Missy, for asking this question in the group. And her dilemma was, how do you take something like a small image like one of these and make it so that it fills up the whole mat in multiples? So say you have a small item and you want to duplicate it so that way you use up all of the available space in the mat. It's a great way to cut down waste and to make sure that you're really getting use out of every piece of your material. So I'm going to walk you through how I do it. And the biggest way is to first start out with a shape. So I'm showing you guys on a desktop version of Design Space. If you're using the mobile version, all of the different features that I'm going to show you will be along the very bottom of the screen. So the first thing is you're going to go into Shapes here and you're going to select a square. So if you're on the mobile version, just go down here to the bottom left corner. You'll see where it says Shapes. You'll click on the square itself. I'm just going to change the color so it's a little bit less contrast here. And we're going to adjust the sizing on this square to the same size of the usable space on the Cricut mat. So if you have a regular standard Cricut mat, the max size that you're going to be working with is 11.5. So I'm going to type this in up top here. And what this does is changes this to the exact size that we can work with. In fact, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so it's easier to see. And here is the same size as our mat. So if you're working with something like a sticker and you were cutting this out, you would notice that you have all of this extra space and you might be like, well, that's a huge waste unless I'm just using a scrap of material. So her question is, how do I fill up all of this space as much as possible? So what we're going to do is kind of go through and play around with this. So say you have a couple of different images that you're working with and you've sized them already to what you're looking for. So here's one, maybe there's another one. What you can do is you can pretend that basically this is your mat and this is as much material as you have to work with. So if you want to do a whole range of stickers, you can literally place them where you like, and then you can take the sticker, you can highlight it. You can go up to the top right hand corner if you're on the desktop and click duplicate, and you can do it that way, or you can right click on it if you're on the desktop and you can click duplicate as well. If you're on the mobile version, you'll click on it, go to the very bottom of the screen, and you can click on where it says Actions. Once you click on Actions, you can scroll to the right and you'll be able to hit duplicate and it'll give you the same options for that. So what I would like to do usually is, once I've decided on the sizing for something, I would create something like a row of them. So you create, however many you want in the row, and then you can move this out of the way, draw a box around that section, and you can click something called Attach. So on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, it says Attach. This means that these will all stay in place and they will all cut in that direction. So that is something that you can do. You can do that on a mobile device if you go to the bottom and you click on Actions, and then you can also scroll to the right and click the Attach feature as well. So that's if you want everything to stay in place, you use the Attach one. And if you wanted, you could just do a straight duplicate on this one again, where you duplicate it and then you have multiple pieces in there. So that's one way you can do it. And then you can also group those together. If you decided you want to do a whole row of them, you can draw a box around them and then click on Group. And that would be under the Actions tab if you're on the mobile device, and now they're attached together as a group. So that's one option for how you could do that. You can just fill up the whole page with a whole range of the different stickers. If you have a few different designs that you want, you can also do the same thing. You can bring this over here on top. You can click on it, and we'll go to the back here. We're going to arrange this backward, and then that makes sure our sticker shows up on the top. You can click on it, and then you can click to duplicate it. Or if you're on mobile device, you can just duplicate it using the Actions one in the bottom. You can move these as close as you'd like. Just make sure that they're not overlapping. And this is a great way to just squeeze a little bit extra out of whatever project you're working on. So you can just kind of play around with it. And if you notice you have some extra space and you really want to fill that in, maybe you just create some more shapes that work with that. So you know, like, okay, these are the sizes of the stickers that I wanted to make, or the decals that I want to make, but I still have this space here. And instead of that turning into a scrap, maybe you go into the images section, or maybe you go into shapes and you can find some more shapes that you want to add to it. And then you can just size these to fit in that little tiny section. So that's kind of a neat way that you can get more use out of every single piece of vinyl if you wanted. So I'm just duplicating this and duplicating it again. So that's kind of a hack that you can use. And then once you have everything how you want it, you can take this, the layer that you have with the square, move this one out of the way, draw a box around everything, and you can click to group it, but then you can also click attach. And when you click attach, what that does is it makes it so that they're all in the same one. That's if you're cutting everything out of the same color. So when you're cutting everything out of the same color with the same sheet, it'll all show up and be the same that way when you click attach. When you click weld, it will cut this exactly the way that this is. So you can click weld if you'd like as well. And then now it's ready for you to take that and take it to the mat. And you can get rid of the square because you won't need that. So that one's ready. You have it sized. You can also adjust the sizing on this too. As you can see, it's a little bit less extra space. So if you really wanted to use up every single bit of space, you could adjust the sizing a little bit more if you needed to. So now we'll click on Make It. And what it'll do is it'll sort your project on the mat here, and you can see that it's using up basically every bit of available space. There's very little bit left, and that's just a great way to get more use out of the space. Even in here, if you really wanted to, you could put something else small in those little gaps in there. So hopefully this helped to answer your questions a little bit more about how you can use the whole mat at the same time, basically, and get the most stretch for your project. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm always happy to help. Send me a message if you have anything that you would like to see more of, or if you have other kinds of questions you want to see, feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to make a video about it. I hope you're having a great day.